All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive. You know that feeling, right? Like you've got a deadline, like just right there looming over you, and suddenly, like cleaning the bathroom just feels like the most important thing in the world.
Yeah.
That's procrastination. And that's what we're going to be tackling today. We're going to take a deep dive into like why we do it, what the science says, and most importantly, some tools to like actually get stuff done.
I love it.
So to kick things off, we're always told like, oh, you're just lazy if you procrastinate. But
Yeah.
is it really just laziness or is there like something else going on?
You know, it's a really good question, and it's way more complex than just being lazy, right? It's really about our brains trying to like protect us from stress and discomfort.
Mm.
You know, in the moment, it feels easier to just avoid that difficult task altogether.
So it's like our brain is like tricking us into like the easy path, even if it's not like the best path long term.
Exactly. It's choosing that immediate comfort, even if it leads to more stress later on.
That's so sneaky.
Yeah.
And there's got to be like a scientific term for that, right? Like, what's that called?
Yeah, there is. It's called time inconsistency. And it's basically this idea that our brains value immediate rewards way more than future rewards,
Okay.
even if those future rewards are like way bigger and better. So it's like, choosing to watch TV right now instead of studying for that exam, that's, a week away, even though, that getting a good grade on that exam is going to be much more beneficial in the long run.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
It's that instant gratification monkey on our shoulder or whatever.
totally.
So, okay. So we kind of get why we do it.
Yeah.
But how do we like break free from this procrastination trap? Like, I've heard about breaking down tasks.
Yeah.
But does that actually work, or is that just like another one of those productivity myths?
No, it actually works and it's super effective strategy. It all comes down to like how our brains perceive difficulty. So
Hmm.
when we have this big huge task, our brain just kind of freak out. It seems overwhelming.
Right.
But when we break it down into smaller, more manageable chunks, it suddenly feels much more approachable. And there's also this thing called the Zeigarnik Effect, which is basically this idea that our brains love to finish things. So when
Wow.
we complete a small step, we get this little burst of satisfaction, this feeling of accomplishment, and that motivates us to keep going.
So it's like we're tricking our brains into feeling good about making progress.
Exactly.
I like it. All right. So speaking of like tricking our brains and getting things done, what about the 2-minute rule?
Huh.
Is that legit or is that another like procrastination trap in disguise?
It can be super effective, but you got to be mindful with it. The idea is to use it to overcome that initial resistance to starting.
Okay.
So if you have a task that takes less than 2 minutes, just do it right away.
Right.
Don't even think about it, just knock it out. And that little bit of momentum can actually help you get going on bigger tasks.
Okay. So it's more like a tool in the toolbox, not like the magic solution.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay, so we talked about tasks, but what about like distractions? Like my phone is like a magnet when I'm trying to focus.
Yeah. Oh, I feel that distractions are like kryptonite to productivity. You know, they
Hmm.
hijack our brain's reward system, right? So, like
Hmm.
social media notifications, emails, all that stuff, it's like instant gratification.
Mm,
And our brains are wired to crave that.
right.
So, one of the best things you can do is create a designated workspace
Okay.
where you can just like eliminate those distractions, like put your phone in another room, close those extra tabs on your computer.
Like out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other piece of this is like using positive reinforcement. So, like, celebrate those moments when you do stay focused,
Oh, I like that.
even if it's just for like 15 minutes. Like, give yourself a little reward, a break, a snack, something enjoyable.
Okay.
And what you're doing is you're training your brain to associate productivity with pleasure.
It's like we're training a puppy.
Yeah,
Give him a little treat for being good. I
exactly.
love it. Okay, but let's be real. We're not going to be perfect all the time.
Right.
Like, what about those times when we still like slip up and procrastinate? Like, it just feels so ingrained
Oh,
sometimes.
totally. And this is where self compassion comes in. Remember, procrastination is a habit, it's not a personality defect.
Okay.
So, be kind to yourself when you slip up. We all do it. And actually, those slip ups can be really valuable learning opportunities.
Oh, okay.
Like, take some time to analyze what happened. What triggered the procrastination? Was it like fear of failure? Was it just feeling overwhelmed?
Mm.
Once you figure out the root cause, then you can start to develop strategies to address it.
Okay, so like understanding ourselves is like a big part of this.
Absolutely.
All right. So I think we've covered a lot of ground today. Like procrastination is clearly way more than just laziness.
Right.
like
Yeah.
this complex dance between our brains and our emotions. But the good news is, like, we're not helpless. We can actually like rewire our brains and build better habits. Oh,
Yeah, absolutely. And to leave you with something to think about, what's one small change you can make today to combat procrastination? Could be anything, like setting up a dedicated workspace, breaking down a task into smaller steps, or even just celebrating those small wins along the way. The power to overcome procrastination, it's really within all of us.
I love that. So thanks for joining us on this deep dive into procrastination. We've all been there, but remember, awareness and a little bit of strategy can go a long way.
That's right.
And don't forget to check out the show notes for like all the resources and tips we talked about today. We'll see you next time for another deep dive.
See ya.